Welcome to Vids Wall.
Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I know that it's been a really challenging time at the moment, particularly with Anzac Day this weekend. I'm usually someone that goes to a dawn service every year, and unfortunately with the restrictions in place, I'm not going to be able to do that, and neither will anyone else right across the country. One thing that I think is really important is that just because the way that we commemorate the Anzacs might look a little bit different this year, doesn't necessarily change the way that we remember and respect the Anzacs. So I know each and every single one of you knows how much I love my baking. So this year, instead of the dawn service, I'm going to be baking some Anzac Biscuits. So if you'd like to join me in baking these, you can see I've got my ingredients behind me, but what you'll need is 1 cup of rolled oats, 1 cup of coconut, 1 cup of plain flour, 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So I'm going to use both white sugar or caster sugar and brown sugar. You'll need 125 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons of golden syrup, 2 tablespoons of water, and ½ teaspoon of bicarb soda. Let's get into it. Alrighty, the first thing we need to do is turn on the oven. So 160 degrees Celsius for a conventional oven, or if yours is fan force like mine, it's 140 degrees. Okay, next we want to line our baking tray. And then we want to start with our dry ingredients. So 1 cup of plain flour, one cup of oats, 1 cup of coconut, and then our sugar. So I'm going to go ½ a cup of normal sugar or caster sugar. It's okay if it's a little bit lumpy, we'll sort that out in a second. So ½ a cup there, and then 1/4 cup of brown sugar as well. So make sure it's nice and packed. And that's our dry ingredients good to go. Okay, next we want to start on our butter and our wet ingredients. So we want to turn on our stove top to about a medium heat. We let that one heat up. We're going to add our butter, 125 grams of butter. And then we're going to add our golden syrup. So 2 tablespoons of this one. Make sure we get all of it. Oopsies. You'll soon learn I'm an absolute klutz. And then the last thing we want to add, whoops, if I can clean that one up. The last thing we want to add is our water. We're going to give that one a little bit of a stir, and we just want the butter to melt. While our butter is melting, come back and give your dry ingredients a bit of a stir. We just want it all mixed in. Some of my sugar's a little bit lumpy, so I'm just going to break some of that up and make sure that it's all mixed in well. Come back to your butter and keep giving it a stir, making sure we don't burn it, but we want the butter to melt. Next, we want to add ½ a teaspoon of our bicarb soda. So we want to make sure that's a nice flat teaspoon, or ½ a teaspoon. And the key here is we're going to pour it in, it's going to foam up, so we want to be able to be stirring it. Now you'll see it starting to foam up as it reacts. Turn your stove off and bring it over. You'll see it's nice and foamy, and add it to your dry ingredients. And there we have our dough. So what we're going to do now is grab a tablespoon, and we're going to get rid of the wooden spoon. And now we're going to roll it into balls. So I kind of estimate, grab about a heaped tablespoon like that, put it in your hand, roll him into a ball, and then place it on your tray. You can flatten him out a little bit as well. Do that for the rest. As you can see, I've spread out our cookies. I do have more batter in the bowl, but I'm going to add that to another tray later after these ones are done. Reason for spacing them out and flattening down a little bit is so that if they do spread, they're not going to touch. Now, we put them in the oven. So we want to put them in here for 10 to 12 minutes because I like them chewy. If you prefer your cookies a little bit crunchier, cook them for a little bit longer. Okay, so I've just had my timer go off. A good indication is when you can also start to smell them. Generally that means that they're cooked. So let's have a look. Alrighty. Oh, they're looking good. A little bit golden brown, which is what we want. And the smell is just amazing. What we want to do now is leave the biscuits to set on the trays. If I go to move it now, it's going to be a little bit soft, which means that they're going to be chewy cookies. So I'm just going to leave them there for a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to make the rest of the bickies with this batter. And the last thing to do is to transfer them to a wire cooling rack and let them cool for another few minutes. Well, there we have it, super easy Anzac biscuits. Make sure you give this recipe a go this weekend, and in your own way, make sure you commemorate and remember the Anzacs.